What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bunsa's Buckets podcast, a show that brings you everything in basketball. I am your host, Shea Riley, and I am once again joined by my co-host and big brother, Callaghan. Kyle, thanks for being here today.
Shea, absolutely. As always, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here today. I'm really excited to be back for another episode as well.
Absolutely.
As the regular season comes to an end and the NBA playoffs are getting started, I want to take some time and discuss who we have for the end of season awards. Then I want to talk about the remaining games of the play-in tournament that will be played tonight and our predictions for who moves on.
Okay.
Cal, how about you take us through the end of season awards? Let us know who the final candidates are.
I would be honored to. Absolutely, Shea. So first up, we're going to go with Rookie of the Year. There's three names that pop out as the front runners for this award this year. First one being Victor Wembanyama, obviously. He's had a fantastic breakout season with the Spurs. A couple of his stats: averaged 21.4 points a game, 10.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 3.6 blocks to go along with it. Just putting up ridiculous numbers, especially after the All-Star break. He's really been dialed in. Chet Holmgren, another candidate. He's had a great year for the Thunder, averaging 16.5 points a game, 7.9 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and 2.3 blocks. For a while there, I thought Chet was the leader, but I think Victor may have edged him out towards the end of the season. But that's up for debate, Shea. Lastly, we have Brandon Miller on the list. Had a great season. He's really proved that he can score the ball multiple levels, whether that be catch and shoot. I think he's surprised a lot of people with his pick and roll skills this year. He's averaged 17.3 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, and 2.4 assists. And then we have an honorable mention here. We got Jaime Jaquez Jr. Of the Miami Heat, another player who's had a great rookie season, really impacting the game, both sides of the floor, defense and offense. But for myself, I think I got to go with the alien Victor Wembanyama, one of the most impressive rookie seasons we've seen ever. Multiple just ridiculous stat lines put up throughout the year, and just continues to prove his game on all different levels. Shea, who do you have for your Rookie of the Year?
Well, technically, you just stole my pick, but I was going to go with Wemby as well. I mean, this will be a generational talent.
Absolutely.
In the NBA today. I mean, he's KD, but 7'4". He's the KD, but 7'4". He's alien by day and KD by night. I mean, it's just so historical to watch this guy play, especially at the age he is right now.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 21.4 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, we have 10.6 rebounds per game. I think when you see 10.6 rebounds, I'm thinking, yeah, this dude, I mean, he's already making his name in the NBA. But I can tell you this right now. I promise you, he will be one of those guys, eventually will be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more with everything you just said, Shea. Like you said, generational talent. I don't think anybody will be surprised when and if he wins the Rookie of the Year this year. Next up, we got the Defensive Player of the Year. This one I hold a little bit true to heart. Growing up, I was always just kind of a defensive-minded player. Didn't really realize till later on how much I could impact the game with my offense. But three front runners we have here for the year are Rudy Gobert of the Timberwolves, Bam Adebayo with the Heat, and Anthony Davis of the Lakers. This is a tough one for me. I think it's kind of a just a pick of what you want more. Rudy Gobert and that Timberwolves defense has been amazing all year long, and the way he guards pick and rolls, and contests shots and just changes shots around the rim, has been amazing. He's really done a good job this year of, I think in the past, he's kind of got exposed when switching on the guards in that pick and roll, but he's done a great job guarding them this year and proven that he's able to shut them down as well. And then Bam Adebayo, he's one of those guys that you just love to have on your team. He does everything. His, defensive prowess may not always show up in the stat line, but he does, like I said, all those little things like communication and making the extra rotation and being able to tag and replace and guard all these different positions. Having a defender like that on your team is really just so versatile and so helpful. And then AD, of course, has had a fantastic year with the Lakers. Again, blocks a ton of shots and deters a bunch. Also does a good job switching onto the guards, being able to guard multiple positions. This is a tough one for me. I think Rudy Gobert may win it, but if I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to go with Bam. Again, just because he does all the little things, and he does stuff that coaches notice, but as a fan, as an average fan, you may not notice. But they go a long way. Shea, who you got defensive player of the year?
Well, obviously, to what you just said about Bam, obviously, he's a versatile big that can guard any position at this point.
Yep.
And the fact he can pull out with a jumper is really just I'm giving this all the flowers to that guy, but Kyle just said, use my words wisely, and I'm gonna say, because his nickname is Stifle Tower, I have to go with my guy Rudy. Because, besides LeBron, who's going in there to attempt a dunk on Rudy?
Not many people.
So yeah, and I'm going with Rudy on this one.
All right, there you have it. Nothing exciting here. We're picking the same people so far, but we'll see if there's some changes. All right, next award we have Coach of the Year. There's 3 names that really stood out this year as far as coaches that had an impact on their team. First one we have is Mark Daigneault of Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they have the second youngest roster in the league, but they've been fantastic all year round. The way he's gotten all those young guys to buy in to their concepts and on defense and making extra rotations and all that stuff, he's done a really good job. Next up we have Jamal Mosley with the Orlando Magic, another young team. I believe they have the 4th youngest roster in the league, but had multiple times in the year a top 3 defense. They do a great job being physical and roughing you up and really getting you outside your comfort zone. And like I said, he's done a fantastic job of getting all those young guys to buy into the system and what he's looking for. And then last up we have Chris Finch with the Timberwolves. They've had a great year, another young team with good young pieces. It'll be interesting to see, they're in the play-in game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep this momentum they have going throughout the regular season into the playoffs. Obviously Karl Anthony Towns going down is going to hurt them, but I think they have some pieces that have stepped up to fill in that void. So we'll see if they can continue that. Coach of the Year, I'm going to have to go with Mark Daigneault here of OKC. Just the way they've played since the beginning of the season. They've gotten better, it seems like, throughout, but they've really came in stride, and they've been very impressive with that young group of studs they have going there. Shea, who you got?
I think for this one, I'm going to go with Jamal Mosley.
Okay.
Like you said, 4th youngest NBA basketball team. And like you just said again, their defense are in top 3 every month or day. But I mean, I'm going to go with Jamal on this one because, I mean, he's this impressive coach. And especially, well, because we have a buddy that's up there with the Magic. And having a coach like him is really awesome. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going all out with Jamal mostly.
Subtle shout out, Treble Queen there, Shay. I like it. No plug. All right, next up we have the Sixth Man of the Year. This award goes to the most impactful player off the bench, essentially. Naz Reid of the Timberwolves is our first candidate we have. He's had a great year, continues to build year after year and improve on his weaknesses and become more and more impactful. Like I said, with Karl Anthony Towns going down, his role has increased a bunch, but he's done a great job stepping into that role and being comfortable, and they really haven't skipped a beat since Cats went down. Again, it'll be interesting to see what they do in playoffs, but it's been fun to watch him play. Next up, we got Malik Monk of the Sacramento Kings, off to a hot start this year. I think he kind of slowed down a little bit after the All-Star break. Hasn't had too great of a stretch. Some of his I think his shooting percentages have dropped a little bit, but that's not to take away from the great season he's had. And then next up we have Norman Powell from the Clippers. So obviously, when you think of the Clippers, you think of James Harden, you think of Paul George,
Russell Westbrook.
You think of Russell Westbrook, you think
Kawhi.
of Kawhi Leonard, right? Norman Powell may not be the first name you think of, but I think he's their fourth most. He has the fourth highest usage percentage on the team. He just does a great job of hitting shots, especially catch and shoot threes. I think that's where he's been most impactful this year. I think he shoots around 40% clip, which is great. It's really helped expand that, or expand the defenses that they're playing against. And he's had a great season as well. This is a tough one for me. I gotta go with Naz Reid here. Again, Wolves have had a great season, and even though his numbers have taken a jump because he's been starting the past couple games, or past couple weeks, I should say, with Cat out, I don't think that should take away from the rest of his season that he's had and the impact that he's had. So I got to go with Naz Reid. Shay, who you got?
I think I'm going to roll with Norman this year.
Okay.
I mean, an athletic, versatile guard
Yep.
that can also shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And just, he's one of those defense-minded players as well.
Absolutely.
And he knows he knows he's been in playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He knows, he just knows what's about to happen because it's playoffs.
He's got that experience.
He has that experience when he was with the Raptors at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to bring that and just, I'm going all out with Norman this year.
All right, Shay's got Norman Powell. All right, a couple more we got here. Most improved player. Some names we have here. Tyrese Maxey is the first one, obviously from the 76ers. This year, he's had a career high in points, assists, and rebounds. He's obviously had a fantastic season. He started the year, I think he had a couple 50-point games or something like that. He's had multiple of them. With Joel Embiid being out, his role has been increased even more this year. But he's done a great job stepping into that, fill that void that they have. And he's really just a stat sheet stuffer, I should say. He fills it up all over the place. Next up, we got Kobe White from my Chicago Bulls, who's had a fantastic season again, stepping into the role of Zach LaVine. Took over that starting role, and his averages have went up a ton. He's up over 10 points a game this season, and has been, really, other than DeMar DeRozan, I think our highest usage player, and has been great for us all season. He's come up in clutch moments and had huge games where, he goes off for 30, 40 points and keeps us in it or wins us the game. And his energy is contagious out there on the floor, I think. Lastly, we have Jalen Williams of the Thunder, another guy who's just continuing to, improve his game every single year. He's up over 5 points a game from last season, shooting at a higher percentage, turnovers are down. Really, again, a versatile guy who can kind of guard 1 through 5 if he needs to, goes out there, plays really hard defense, but also impacts the game on offense, gets easy buckets, stuff like that. This is a tough one for me. I think they may give it to Tyrese Maxey just because he's putting up such crazy numbers. But I want Kobe White to win. I got to go with my guy. I'm riding with my dog, Kobe White. Let's bring that most improved back to Chicago this year. Shea, who you got?
Flowers to all three of them, obviously, because Kobe is, he's very tough. He's Kobe. Johnny Williams is an absolute stud, and I just love the way he plays. But I mean, Maxey's just been so great this year that it's just impossible not to go with him because, like, right after Joel went out and to go for 50 points, I'm thinking, like, this dude is, like, he's serious this year. He is, like, real serious this year, and I'm just going to go with Maxey this year.
Tyrese Maxey. All right, there you have it. All right, lastly, most importantly, we have the most valuable player, the MVP race, what everyone wants to argue about and everyone wants to predict. We got 5 names that really stood out this year. We'll go off the bat. Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets. Another great season. They finished 57-25. He's averaging 26, 12, and 9. Shooting 58% from the field goal, just making the right decision every time on the floor. He is so impressive to watch on the offensive, really on both sides of the floor, but especially on the offensive side. You put him at that high post, and he's pretty much unguardable. You have to send another, and then when you do, he's making the right decision. He's hitting the dunker spot, or he's hitting the kick out, or he's hitting a little floater.
Or the pick and roll with him and Jamal Murray.
That pick and roll with Jamal Murray is deadly. So Nikola Jokic is our first one. Next up, we got Luka Doncic of the Mavericks. Another pretty good season for the Mavs. 50-32 finish. Kyrie and him really, I think, found their groove this year as far as working together on the court. They had some pretty fun games. Luka was the leading scorer this year, averaging 33.9 points a game, so almost 34 a game. 9 rebounds. 9.8 assists, so basically 10 assists, and all doing it on 48% field goal percentage on a very high number of shots per game. So he's had another super impressive season. He's up there with the favorites. Next up, we have the young gun, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. OKC had again, as we said, a great season. Finished 57-25. He averaged 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on 53% field goal percentage. Again, someone who's improved their game year after year and really proven themselves as, an elite scorer in this league and an elite basketball player. Last couple we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. We hate to see him go down the other day. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, and it's nothing too serious. The Bucks had, I would say, an underwhelming season. I think when, the summer came and Damian Lillard got traded there, everyone thought it was going to be, Bucks were going to be the best team in the league potentially, but I think they've kind of lingered and started to figure things out late. But again, now Giannis is out. But that doesn't take away from the great season he had. Averaged 30 points a game, 11 rebounds, 6.5 assists, shooting a ridiculous 61% from the field goal. Bucks finished 49-33 on the season. Again, another great season for Giannis. Last up, we have Jason Tatum. Another great season with the Boston Celtics. Had 26, almost 27 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 4.9 assists, and shot 47% from the field goal. They had a season-high 64 wins. No other team had as good of a record as they did. They really just kind of steamrolled everyone all year, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum going into the playoffs. This is a tough one for me. I think, when it comes down to MVP, there's two guys that really pop out to me as far as who's deserving and I think has a chance. I think that Nikola Jokic is going to win it, but I want to see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander win it. So I would like to see Shea win it, but I think they're going to give it to Jokic again. It'll be interesting to see, but that's who I got. Shea, who you got?
I think because he's averaging 33.9 points per game and 9.2 rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, flowers are everywhere to everyone on this list, but I just had to go with Luka. I mean, it's just impossible not to go with him this year. So I'm going with Luka this year, guys.
There you go. Shea's got Luka. I got Jokic. We'll see who's the winner after all.
Now, I want to take some time and to make our predictions for the remaining of the playing games we will have going on tonight. First, we have the Miami Heat tipping off at 6 p.m. against the Philadelphia 76ers. The winner of this game will advance to play against New York Knicks in the first round, and the loser will play the winner of the 9th or 10th seed game. Cal, who do you have moving on this one in this one?
Yeah, this is. I think this will be an interesting matchup. Everyone's got to get their popcorn out for this one. A little bit of history between the two teams. Jimmy Butler getting traded from the Sixers to the Heat. A little bit of words there between him and Tobias Harris. A little bit of beef there maybe. But the Heat. This is that time of year where they turn it on. Spoelstra really has his guys step their game up to another level once playoff time come. And then you got Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. We've all seen it before. We should be used to it by now. I got to go with the Heat. Shea, who you got it?
And we can't treat them like an 8 seed. We have to treat them as contending team that constantly all through these years went deep in playoffs. I mean, last year was deep, they're in the finals versus the Nuggets. That's how good the team is. So I am going to rock with the Heat as well with you.
There you go. We both got the Heat. Second matchup of the night is between my Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks, taking place at 8:30 p.m. Winner of this game will play the loser from the 7-8 seed matchup that we just talked about for a chance to compete in the first round against the 1 seed Boston Celtics. So tough course there. I got to go with my Bulls here. A little bit of bias going on for sure, but I think if we keep DeJounte Murray and Trae Young to a minimum and don't let them go crazy, then I think we got a chance at winning this game. And then once we match up with Boston, I don't love our chances so much, but I do think we could compete with them and at least take a game or two maybe, just to kind of wear them out. But I got Bulls. Shea, who you got in this matchup?
I may have to agree with you on this one because, I mean, they know what his time is. Play-in, playoffs, coming down to the wire. I'm going to rock with the Bulls because they know what time it is, and they're going to turn it on tonight. They're going to flip that switch. And the glue guy he is, Alex Caruso, is also going to probably guard either Trae or DeJounte.
Yep.
Is either going to be one of them. I see he'll probably guard Trae.
Okay.
Because, I mean, just to stop Trae from shooting like half-court shots or something.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Bulls on this one as well.
There you go. Rocking with our Bulls.
All right, guys. That's all we have for today. But before we let y'all go, it is time for our Bunsa's bucket list. segment. Today, I want to pick our top 3 favorite sports to play. Cal, why don't you start us off with yours?
That's a great question, Shea. Something I would say this answer has evolved for me over my lifetime. When I went, from my playing career to me no longer playing too much. But as a kid, soccer was that first love, first sport we got into at 4. And then eventually got into football and basketball. Basketball quickly took that first spot for me. But like I said, it's kind of evolved as I've gotten older, but that basketball has always stuck number 1, so I got to go basketball. Nothing quite like competing on the floor. I just love how it's an individual and a team sport all in one. I could have the best game I've ever had in my life, but we could still lose, and that could really affect how you play, and should affect how you play. So basketball is my number 1. And then next up, I got a close second. We got golf. Try to get out there as much as I can. Any day I can go hit some golf balls.
Maybe twice a week or something like that.
Twice a week, says Shea. But any day I can go out there, hit some golf balls, enjoy some nature, some weather. Obviously, enjoy some good vibes with the people I'm playing with. That's a good day. Lastly, I have another one of our summer sports that we play a bunch at the beach. So I got to go with the pool, sand, volleyball combo, any of the sort. Not something we necessarily played growing up, but it's fun to kind of get out of our comfort zones. None of us are super skilled at it, but all, I would say, athletic enough to make it competitive and fun. So we have a blast playing, volleyball in the summer, and I'm looking forward to it again. Shea, what are your favorite sports to play?
Well, obviously basketball is my first pick since day one, because that's why I started this podcast, because basketball is my comfort zone, and when I wake up, basketball is my favorite sport to play, and growing up and still playing basketball, and now I'm 23, and I'm so in tune with basketball that it's just it's my favorite sport to watch and to play, and that's what drove me to make a podcast, because of basketball, because my love for basketball. So my second pick is going to be football. I love football. I even love watching football on Sundays, because that's when the professionals are playing on Sunday. And every game will start at 12, and it will be done at 9.
Yep, pretty much all day.
Or something like that. But and I did play football. I didn't play tackle football, but I played flag football. And it was just a sport. Y'all played tackle football, and I played flag football. Not that I couldn't play tackle football. I would love that, because I would get to tackle my brothers. But football is just a great sport to play, and I just love it. So I'm going football on football on that one.
This is a bold one, putting as a sport. I'll let it slide.
My last and final pick is going to be spike ball. I just love playing spike ball, especially in our beach house in Florida. And like Cal just said, in the sand, and especially when you want to be the guy to make that hustle play and get sand all over you. It's just our competitive spirit that, especially on the sand, spike ball is just a favorite sport, and I just love spike ball, even because we still play it to this day. We're about to go and play in a month,
Whenever we go out to the beach, you already know it.
So, and I can't wait to just embarrass them in spikeball.
There you go.
So, well, that is all we have for today's episode of the Bunsa's Bucket List Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon for episode 13. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube at Bunsa's Bucket List. Thanks again, and we will see y'all next time.